Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and thank you for tuning in to Canal Algérie's nightly news. To the headlines. The President of the Republic carries out a partial reshuffle at the diplomatic and consular corps to keep with the growing demands of the national community. The Friends of Algeria Association is set up and the War Veterans Minister reiterates Algeria's gratitude to those who sided with our glorious revolution. Algeria strongly condemns the Zionist aggression in Jenin and calls for an immediate cessation of military operations against Palestinians. And an art street contest is organized as part of the festivities marking the Independence and Youth Day being celebrated across the national territory. Welcome again. First off, the President of the Republic decided to carry out a partial reshuffle in the diplomatic and consular corps, which includes 18 ambassadors and 3 consuls general and 2 consuls. These new nominations in the diplomatic corps fall in the framework of keeping pace with the comprehensive and radical changes that Algeria is experiencing and to make it in line with the current demands in order to effectively ensure taking care of the concerns of the national community abroad as well as Algeria's interests at the bilateral, regional and international levels. The former diplomat Nourdine Djoudi was elected head of the association Amis de la Révolution Algérienne, Friends of the Algerian Revolution, following a general assembly held at the International Center of Conferences, coinciding with the 61st anniversary of Independence Day. Details with Melissa Kabash.
The assembly took place in the presence of 80 Algerian and foreign participants coming from brotherly and friendly countries, the advisor of the President of the Republic, members of the government, and representatives of diplomatic corps accredited to Algeria. On this occasion, an exhibition containing photos of foreigners who helped during the Liberation War was exhibited, alongside an important book collection dedicated to the revolution. In his speech, the Minister of Mujahideen Laïdar Biga reiterated Algeria's recognition, ensuring that our country never forgot the support of its friends during the glorious revolution. Algeria will never forget its friends who brought support to the Liberation War and its just cause, as affirmed by the President of the Republic, who reiterated his profound recognition towards the friends of the revolution from different countries. Loyalty and devotion are among many values of the Algerian people towards its supporters. The moving participants' testimonies denote the greatness of the Algerian Revolution.
My
uncle was killed by a bomb for helping these people. I have the letters that my uncle received from the secret organization. I am now writing a book dedicated to the Algerian Revolution. The group was formed in 1957 for Algeria's self-determination. At this time, the glorious Algerian Revolution was at its peak, which impressed us a lot. We were just university students back at that time, committed to the liberation war in the world, but the Algerian Revolution was the most important.
Quelqu'un qui porte les armes. Il a transporté des armes pour les faire rentrer.
My father used to transport weapons across borders to help the revolution. He basically married the Algerian cause.
Nous avons, dans le temps, bien étudié la révolution.
We've studied the revolution of the Algerian people, which was extremely positive, especially in the African continent. Algeria was the first country to hold weapons and claim independence. Those kind of initiatives are a communicating bridge between countries and a way to spread love, cooperation, and world peace, concluded the minister.
In other news, reflecting the strength of the strategic Algerian-Italian relations, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the National Community Abroad, Ahmed Attaf, supervised the opening of the second session of the Algerian-Italian Strategic Dialogue in the presence of the Secretaries General of the Ministries of Foreign Affairs of both countries, Lournas Mukran and Ricardo Guargiglia, as well as members of delegations of both countries. In his speech, Attaf stressed that the Algerian-Italian relations are at their best thanks to the new gains that that have been achieved to strengthen the strategic partnership between both countries that are committed in word, deed, methodology, and approach to the Treaty of Friendship, Good Neighborliness, and Cooperation, which we celebrated by the beginning of this year, its 20th anniversary. Algeria decided to make a further reduction in its oil production with 20,000 barrels a day during the month of August. This decision is meant to back the additional cuts announced by Saudi Arabia and Russia in order to consolidate the stability and balance of the oil market. This decrease comes after the voluntary reduction of 48,000 barrels a day decided last April, and by this the Algerian production will settle on 940,000 barrels a day. Ahead of the upcoming Pan-Arab Games, the delegations taking part in these games continue arriving in Algiers. To this effect, the Tunisian and Iraqi judo athletes and Jordanian volleyball players landed on Monday at the Algiers International Airport, where they were warmly welcomed. Algeria strongly condemned the attack perpetrated by the Zionist occupation in the city of Jenin in the occupied West Bank, leaving behind many innocent victims, and called for the immediate cessation of these military operations that bluntly violate all international laws and norms and basic human values. Algeria reiterated its permanent solidarity with the proud Palestinian people, supporting its fair cause in ending occupation of its territories and establishing their independent state with Al-Quds as its capital. Algeria called on the international community, especially the UN Security Council, to shoulder its political and legal responsibilities in ensuring international protection for the Palestinian people, to hold those responsible for the series of crimes that the occupier continues to commit in the Palestinian occupied lands without deterrence or accountability. In the same context, the city of Jenin and its camp in the occupied West Bank is under the biggest Zionist aggression since 2002, where the occupation forces used all types of air and ground bombardment, which left behind 10 martyrs at least, while 50 other Palestinians were injured. The proceedings of the 26th International Forum of Sao Paulo in Brazil ended on Sunday with the participation of a delegation from the Polisario Front. A resolution was adopted during this event related to the support of the Sahrawi people in its just cause. Melissa Kebash explains.
The forum anonymously adopted a resolution related to the support of the Sahrawi people and its just cause, claiming the end of the Moroccan occupation on the Sahrawi territories. The resolution also calls for the liberation of opinion detainees and the settlement of the file of the 600 Sahrawis reportedly missing. It condemns the building of the Berm of Shame erected by the Moroccan occupier and rejects the illegal exploitation of Sahrawi's natural wealth. The Sao Paulo event invited peoples of the world, as well as all political forces and associative movements of Latin America and the Caribbean, to consolidate their solidarity with the Sahrawi people, calling on the United Nations to intervene and put an end to the military occupation of Western Sahara, allowing the Sahrawi people to practice its right to self-determination and independence. This forum, held after a 4-year break, allowed us to hold a series of bilateral meetings with representatives of governments and organizations supporting the legitimate struggle of the Sahrawi people for their right to self-determination and independence. The forum is also an occasion to discuss the socio-political situation of the region, in addition to other topics, including the involvement of women and young people in decision-making process and international solidarity with the Sahrawi cause.
The peaceful sit-in held by the Unemployed Sahrawi Coordination in the city of Tantan was forcefully dispersed by Al Makhzen regime. The intervention, conducted by more than 200 members of the Moroccan repression forces on young Sahrawis demanding their right to employment and a decent life, left behind many injured. In France, the violence following the brutal killing of the teenager Nail that got shot dead by a police officer is declining compared to the 6 previous nights. Huge riots took place to denounce the police violence and racism issues within the security forces. Najah Tayyaro tells more.
After 5 nights of urban violence, that of Sunday to Monday marked an ebb of violence, with 157 of arrests as against 1,300 in the night from Friday to Saturday. 352 fires in the public highway, 297 vehicle fires and 3 wounded among the police and gendarmerie elements engaged are identified by the French Interior Minister. These figures are, however, in decline compared to the previous night. A 24-year-old firefighter also passed away on Sunday while battling in a vehicular fire. The Interior Minister, Gérald Darmanin, who had renewed a system of 45,000 police and gendarmerie elements throughout the territory on Sunday, also estimated that order was being restored. The French President Emmanuel Macron nevertheless called for maintaining a heavy presence on the ground to secure a return to calm. Popular rallies were held today in front of many town halls in France to denounce the current wave of urban violence. The Association of Mayors of France has called for national mobilization for a return to Republican order, some hours after a violent car ram attack targeting the home of a mayor in Paris region and sparked a general indignation. The French president must receive the head of the 2 chambers of parliament, then the mayors of more than 220 municipalities affected by the spiral of violence.
As part of celebrating the Independence and Youth Day, a street painting contest was held to allow talented artists to express their inner views and ideas concerning Algeria's past, present and future via colorful paintings highly appreciated by the Algiers inhabitants and visitors. Najah Tayyar once again.
In a tribute to Youth and Independence Day, La Grande Poste of Algiers is transformed into a living canvas where talented artists express their limitless creativity. A fresco competition is organized on the occasion of the 21st anniversary of Independence and Youth Festival, as well as the 15th edition of Arab Sports Games, offering a unique platform for young Algerians to express their vision to the past, present and future. I try to create a painting that highlights both the achievements of modern Algeria and the heroes who fought to obtain its independence. My goal is to celebrate this history and our country's progress through time. I am participating in this contest to share my art. I chose to paint a picture merging the traditional Kabyle outfit and Algiers karakou to symbolize the national unity.
I came to participate in this competition and opted for one of these themes that were proposed to us. Mine is to represent one of the countries participating in the Arab Sports Games. I chose Palestine using a composition in perspective to paint my canvas.
This competition is in the framework of the 61st anniversary of independence to give an opportunity to the young artists, both subscribed and not subscribed, in youth centers. The theme of this cooperation is the vision of the youth to independence, and the second theme is the Arab Sports Games. As the street artists shape their masterpieces, an amazed audience gathered to admire this extraordinary artistic show.
It's a very original initiative that I really appreciate. In addition to commemorating the independence of our country, it also highlights the event currently taking place in Algeria.
We see these young people expressing themselves through their paintings. They tell stories that they learned, but that we really lived. I cannot wait to see these frescoes, and I fully support these young people in their work. This ocean of frescoes, which will sweep over the main post office until July 5th, embodies a new way of preserving national memory and commemorating Algeria's independence by giving freedom to the creative spirit of youth who succeeded in transcending the limits of art.
The end of tonight's bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.